Welcome students to Educare Academy. Today we shall learn a very important chapter, that is germination. Germination is included in state boards as well as in ICSEE and CBSE boards. So let us learn what is germination. Germination means when the seed grows into a young plant. It is a complex process and the seed will get the favorable conditions, then only it will develop into a young plant. There are various factors or various favorable conditions that we shall study later on. Let us first discuss the process that is involved in seed germination. There are 5 steps. The first step is imbibition. Imbibition means the surface of the seed, that is the seed coat, will absorb water, absorb water. That is surface absorption of water is called imbibition. It will absorb water on its surface and will swell up. Second point is respiration. Respiration means the seed will respire aerobically, that is in the presence of oxygen, and it will help in the metabolic activities to take place inside the seed that is necessary for the seed germination. Third point is light. The sunlight affects the seed germination and it will helps to come out the seed from its dormant condition. Dormant condition means the sleeping condition where the seed fails to germinate. So the sunlight will help the seed to germinate. Fourth step is mobilization of reserves. Mobilization of reserve food that is present in the seed, that is present in the cotyledon of the seed. The cotyledon contains the food reserves that helps the growing embryo to provide nourishment. But this food has to be mobilized. This mobilization will take place with the help of the water that is imbibed by the seed. We also have growth regulators like various abscisic acid, gabling acids. These are present. This, when supplied to the seed, will or from the outside will result in the faster seed germination. Fifth point is development of the embryonic axis. When the seeds gets all the favorable conditions and the dormancy of the seeds is broken down, it gives out it starts developing into young plant by the development of the embryonic axis. So first the embryonic axis comes out and then the young plants grows from the seedling. Now let us study what are the factors which affects the seed germination. External factors, that is the environmental factors. External factors includes water, temperature, salinity of the soil, that is the amount of soil content in the salt content in the soil, aeration and light, that is sunlight. And internal factors like seed dormancy. Seed dormancy I already told you, it's a sleeping condition of the seed where the seed will fail to germinate. The seed will only germinate when it comes out of its dormant condition. So when it gets all the favorable conditions, external conditions, favorable external conditions, it will help the seed to break its dormant condition and starts germinating. Next is seeds genotype. We know the genotype and the phenotype. The genotype is the gene content of the seed. What is the gene of the seed? If the gene of the seed also affects the seed germination. Seed maturation. Some seeds mature earlier and some seeds takes time to mature. So it also depends upon the seed that affects the seed germination. Seed vitality, that is the superior quality seeds and inferior quality seeds. So superior quality seeds will germinate very easily and by getting the optimal external conditions, and inferior quality seeds, we have to supply the external conditions as well as the growth regulators to for seed germination. Now let us study the external factors. External factors, the first is soil. The soil must have optimal temperature and the soil must contain moisture. Then only the seed germination will take place. The soil also provides the necessary nutrients to the soil, to the seeds for germination. Next we have water. The seeds under the dry conditions are stored in our house as well as in the grocery shops where they fail to germinate. But when they are put in the soil and under considerable amount of water, the seeds comes out of their dormant state and starts to grow. The seeds water also provides hydration which is necessary for the vital activities of the protoplasm that takes place inside the cells of the seed. Seeds also needs dissolved oxygen that is present in the water for the growing embryo. The water also softens the seed coat and increases the seed's permeability. When the seed coat softens up, the seed ruptures and helps the embryonic axis to comes out of the seed. Water also dissolves the insoluble food and converts them into soluble food which is easily available or easily translocated to the embryo, and that provides nourishment to the embryo and helps in the development of embryo. Next factor is oxygen. Germinating seeds, as I told you, respires aerobically till it gets its own leaves for respiration. Leaves have stomata which helps in the diffusion of respiratory gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen. So till then the seeds will respire aerobically on its own. This respiration is very important and helps in the metabolism of the seed. Oxygen is also found in the soil particles. So, but if the seed is buried deep inside the soil, the oxygen supply is cut because of the so oxygen supply is not available to the seed, so seed will fail to germinate. Next, the seed respire as we have discussed, so it will release the energy that is required for the growth. So if there is a deficiency of oxygen, it will definitely affect the seed germination. Next factor is temperature. Temperature affects the growth rate as well as the metabolism of the seed. Temperature below the moderate level will slow down the seed germination and will result in the fungal growth on the seed. But higher temperature, we think the higher temperature more than the moderate level will also stop the seed germination. So we need an optimal temperature that must be between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. But it also, some seeds also depends upon the seasons. Like seeds of the cool season crops generally germinate best at the low temperature between 0 to 10 degrees Celsius, whereas the seeds of the warm seasons like summer season crops, they require a temperature of 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Next factor is aeration. Aeration means the amount of air contained in the soil. The growth rate of the seed is adversely affected if the germinating medium here is soil. If the germinating medium, that is soil, is poorly aerated, that is if the soil contains poor amount of soil, the seed will fail to germinate because the seed will not get enough oxygen from the air to respire aerobically and will fail to germinate. Poorly drained clayey soil will retard the seed germination. We know that clayey soil are best for the seed germination, but if the clayey soil has less content of oxygen or air, it will retard the seed germination. Now we come to internal factor, that is seed Dormancy. Seed dormancy is what? It is the condition in which seeds are prevented from germinating even if we provide the favorable conditions. Seed dormancy is the sleeping condition of the seed. During seed dormancy, the seed coat, which is resistant to water and gas, restricts the water intake and oxygen exchange. Even if we have provided the enough oxygen, that is optimal oxygen and water content to the seed coat will develop a resistant coating around it and will fail to imbibe in the water and will not take in the oxygen, that is it won't respire by taking in oxygen. So it is the sleeping condition of the seed, that is the seed coat will remain inactive. Second point, the seed with underdeveloped or immature embryo do not germinate. Like the seeds with underdeveloped or immature embryo, like the seed which contains underdeveloped embryo, they won't germinate into seedling or young plant. Third is certain seeds contain plant growth regulator which inhibit the seed's germination. Certain seeds contains the plant growth regulators inside them which prevents the seed germination. Fourth point is some seeds require more time for germination as compared to other seeds. That's all for today. I hope you have understood